guys, since I'm sitting here in my car waiting for a train to go by, which is pretty normal in my life, where I live, there are trains after train after train. But that's okay. I'm used to it. And it gives me time to do this, and I'm not in a hurry. I just have to get a couple groceries. But to elaborate on the community post about Kilmar Abrego Garcia and Senator Van Hollen, who I think I said Jim, compared to Jim Ryan, but it was Leo Ryan, the senator that went to Jonestown and was killed for exposing Jonestown. Of course, we know what happened there. And okay, so with Kilmar, of course, I got the death card, and that's can be good or bad. Like when my mother died, I didn't get the death card. I actually got the Fool, and that was to say that she was in a new life. She'd entered into a new life on the other side, the other realm, which is our real existence. But anyway, when I got it, I thought, well, this doesn't look good. And my reading before that had been that Kilmar was alive, but just not doing very well, but he would come back maybe around June to September, August time period. And that there was money involved with all of this, either to or us spending money, but that there would be a price on him to bring him back. But then, yeah, the second reading I did, because I got a really bad feeling, it said, showed the death card, and I was like, oh, no, that's not good. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm getting this card now. And then, so Senator Van Hollen went down there, was refused, and then I guess he talked to the American Embassy, which he was told to do, and then there was this whole photo op, which the first thing I thought last night, I got off work and I saw the picture of Senator Van Hollen with Kilmar Abrego, and I thought, is that a recent photo? Why is he dressed in nice clothes and he looks relatively okay, and he got a hat on, and they're at a restaurant, and I was like, is this an old photo? And I actually said that online, is this an old photo? And someone said, F you, are you calling Senator Van Hollen a liar? And I was like, no, but something's fishy about the picture. Something's fishy about this picture. Why is he not in prison gear, et cetera, et cetera? Not that I'd want him to be, but what's up with that? And someone pinpointed it, and this is what I was feeling. They said they weren't going to let us see a picture of Kilmar looking like shaved and shackled and in a bad state. In fact, people looked and they saw that he had a bruise covered up with makeup on his face. You know, the clothes were to make him look like he's being well taken care of. Probably not the truth. I mean, it has all the markings of someone in an abusive relationship going to Christmas dinner and not looking like they're in an abusive relationship. You get my drift? Like they're covering up. And that's what I was picking up. That's exactly what I was trying to get at. It's like, why does it look like this? So not that I'd want him to be looking in a bad state, but why does it look like he's at Applebee's on a Sunday afternoon? You know what I mean? So that makes sense. However, 45 wants us to be scared. He wants us to see Kilmar looking horrible and deathly and shackled. But what this photo told me is that El Salvador does not. So that means that El Salvador and Trump are not quite in alignment with each other as Trump thinks, which I find interesting. That means that there is negotiation that we can do with El Salvador, and I feel like I'm channeling this right now. There is negotiation. There's an open door. Now, 45 has said, they even put on the White House webpage the picture of Senator Van Hollen and Kilmar, and it said, he won't be coming back to America. Well, he will be. If we have to bleach his hair, put a dress on him, and makeup, and make him look like a woman coming to vacation in America, we're going to bring him back. This is his home. America is his home. And it was illegal what 45 and his people did. Illegal. Unconstitutional. He will be brought back. So here's the other thing. So the whole death card and not being sure if he was alive or if any of the prisoners there were alive. And remember how I had said that 45 wants to use Easter, April 20th, as a day to say, I'm like Jesus, I'm like Jesus, and I was crucified by the public, witch hunt, etc., had an attempt at my life, and I was resurrected and brought back into office because God loves me and I'm saved, yada, 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 and I am like Jesus, and I am resurrected, and here it is Easter, look at me. I'm Jesus. That's really what 45 was getting at. And look what the universe did. I can say God, Spirit, what have you, angels, all of us together, the collective. It's an example of Kilmar Abrego Garcia and all the men that were illegally abducted and kidnapped and shackled, unconstituted, no matter what crime, you don't deserve to be treated like that. Basically tortured. And the universe said, here's the real Jesus. Here's Jesus. And I actually said that the other day. I said, who knows if we're sending Jesus out of our country? And, what karma is that? And I do believe in Jesus. I believe in him as a man, as a holy figure, and an ascended master. But I believe in Jesus as a holy figure in all, like even pagan religion. It's just repeats, the virgin birth is repeated everywhere. So you could say Jesus, you could say Christ, you could say Buddha, you could say whatever. Okay, it's that. Anyway, I really feel like the universe did that on purpose, made us all feel, and for all intended purposes, maybe Kilmar and all of them were dying. And then because we collectively came together to fight for them and to fight for love and justice and decency, that the universe said, and he's been resurrected, because that's what Jesus did. Jesus came here for that example. That's the exact reason why he came to earth as a human being, because really he's just a ball of light, right? He's like a star in the heavens, and he came down to earth as a human, because that's the only way we can learn, to see another human go through this, to teach us that the only way to get into heaven is to open our hearts and love one and feel compassion for one another. That's the only way to get into heaven. And they literally used Kilmar and the others, because there's more than just him, and women and children too that are missing, but used him and resurrected him after a false accusation and crucifixion. And here it is, it's Good Friday. And I really feel strongly that's what Spirit did. I do. I feel that 100%. This has that written all over it. And so I'll leave it at that. I had something else to say, but I'm driving and I'm not quite sure if I can remember at the moment. So I'll come back with the other messages. But thanks for listening, and take care. Bye.